Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to my first episode of Miss J Speaks Talk Show and Podcast. Welcome everyone. Now I know you saw the um the heading, Let's Talk Health, right? And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about health, and I got a very special guest that I want to bring on. But before I do that, I want to say this. Ladies, as we get older, right, our health, we start thinking more about that, about better eating habits and all of that, right? But sometimes it takes a crisis, right, to sort of wake us up. To be like, oh, okay, what is going on here? And my very special guest that I have, um, she wants to share her journey with you. And my guest is Miss Janet Brown. All right. Miss Janet Brown is a health and beauty and influencer, right? She is here to tell you her journey. And we're going to chat about women's health. All right. So now, with that being said, I'm ready to bring Miss Janet on so we can go ahead on and get into this conversation about women's health. All right. Because that's really important. That's really important. And there she is, Miss Janet Brown. Welcome to being on my very first episode of Miss J Speaks Podcast and Talk Show. I really appreciate you being here. And we're going to talk about something real good today.
Well, I feel totally honored that you invited me on your first one. And just, I feel very privileged to be here. And I hope that I can be encouraging and informational for your guests.
Okay. So, and as I stated before, I am so elated that you are here with me because you have a story that you're going to tell. And I appreciate you. And I really appreciate you want to come on the show and do that. So, with that being said, I want to know that recently, because you've already gave me permission to talk about this, um, you was in the hospital, right? You just recently got out of the hospital, right? And do you mind, sharing what happened?
Well, like I said, last time we spoke on the phone, I was sharing with you how I recently got out of the hospital because I've been to the hospital twice, one with the stroke
That's right.
and
That's
then
right.
one that they had brought me back in on. But what originally brought me to the hospital was a stroke. And it was very phenomenal because I did not know at all that I was having a stroke. And you know how most symptoms of stroke, if you Google it, you'll know this. Most symptoms of stroke is that it's going to be on one side or the other. You will feel some type of paresthesia, meaning that you'll feel like some numbness or tingliness. You would feel weak on one side or the other. Well, I had none of those symptoms whatsoever, but I did feel dizzy and lightheaded, and so that's what made my husband get alert. It's like, what's wrong with you? And I thought maybe my blood sugar was low because I was
Mhm.
having a little bit of blood sugar problems due to I had sent myself into ketosis, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, and that's what took me to the hospital. And then come to find out through MRI that I had had a stroke, and not only that stroke, I had
Wow.
several strokes. They said on both sides of my brain.
Several?
Yeah, several.
Wow. Wow.
So, and after 3 days in the hospital, trying to absorb all that in, they finally let you go because if you're not really ambulatory, they don't keep you there. Plus, you have to get into some rehab. You need to get rehab, and due to the fact that we are in the COVID now, they'll send you home and you'll get that rehabilitation at home where people will come out to your home and send you to physical therapy and occupational therapy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the situation that I was in. The reason why I went to the hospital.
Wow. Isn't that something? So that was what you would consider your crisis that sort of woke you up, right?
Yeah, it did. It really
Yeah, that
did.
sort of woke you up. And we recently chatted about a new transformation that another journey you started doing. And as far as your eating habits, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's really strange. And since my stroke, so many people have been saying, well, it's probably because you changed the way you eat. That's probably why you had a stroke. Well, I beg to differ. A lot of us don't know that due to joint pain that we suffer from, a lot of us women suffer from a lot of joint pain. And most of us suffer from having joint pain in our knees, our knee problems and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And it all could be occurring from what we eat daily. I mean, on the day-to-day basis, a lot of us American diets is saturated with processed foods, and which can really produce inflammation into your bones, and it affects our body. And these foods include packaged foods like sugars, snacks, certain types
Oh
of
yeah.
red meat. Red meat is really bad for you. It's just a very hard to digest it. But I noticed that my mother, when she was living, the doctor took off her red meat due to the fact that it really pushed her arthritis problem into what you call pseudo gout. And that's a gout that only the Asians know something about, and it cripples you over time, and it will take your life. So, with that being said, research suggests that predominantly plant-based foods, plant-based foods were better for us, and it relieves the symptoms of a lot of our arthritis or joint pain, rather. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And also of the intake of fiber. Fiber can reduce those things too. So yeah, I went on a new journey, and I was very enthused over a young lady called Tabitha Brown, and she had the same kind of thing that was going on with her was going on with me, and
Mm-hmm.
she was telling her story one day, and I was watching her, and I was like, wow. I think what if that could help me, because I had not only to have joint pain, but I had gut problems. And so, lack of energy, stomach bothering me all the time, digestive system was totally thrown off. And so her journey led me to try it. I wasn't really a big meat eater anyway, but I tell you, when my husband barbecue, I love eating his grilled meat. I can't lie about that. But
Uh-huh.
come the beginning of the year, I was getting ready for my anniversary, which is in February, and I just wanted to take off a few pounds. So I just
Yeah.
kind of cut back a little bit. And after that, I noticed that cutting back of eating so much meat and things like that, and incorporating more vegetables and high fiber foods, I was feeling better, and I was shedding a few pounds. So I said,
Okay.
I think I'm going to try this vegan thing, right? So I did. And the pounds just started melting away. But not only did the pounds melt away, I started getting more energy. My gut was feeling a lot better. I was using the bathroom on a regular basis, and I'm a person that always needed something to help me go. My digestive system was just ruined. And so from then on, it just snowballed from there. I've lost over 2.5 sizes, and I feel a lot better. I don't have a lot of knee pain. I have a bad leg. I can't deny that. But as far as joint pain, it has alleviated a lot. So
Mm.
we don't realize that raw flesh itself is raw. That we take into our bodies, consume it to our bodies. It doesn't agree with us, because it's just
Yeah.
it's just
That's
good.
right.
More plant-based foods are better off. Research, and I looked at research, and these researchers were found between 2015 and 2017. So these is not long ago, about
Mm-hmm.
research on high fiber foods and plant-based meals. Yeah.
Wow. So would you say doing going vegan is what helped you with your speedy recovery out of the hospital? Would you say that?
Yeah, because a lot of people were saying too that, even though, like I mentioned before, that vegan might have what made, since I cut back on this and I cut back on that, I wasn't eating cheese, I wasn't eating meat, yogurt and milk and butter, that I probably did something to my body. But doctors said the difference. They said that if you had to continue to do those things, my stroke would have been a lot worse. So being vegan saved my life.
And I want to go back to what you were saying about when you realize that well, at the time you didn't know you was having a stroke. You just knew you was feeling dizzy. I have to say, because it's all about women's health. We as women, we will have signs and symptoms going on with us, and some of the time we be so scared to go to the doctor because we don't want to hear what they got to say. We think it's gonna be some bad news. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But I'm looking at it as we get older, we as women, we need to take care of ourselves. We take care of everybody else. You know what I mean? We take care of the kids, take care of the husband. We're going to work, doing this. But a lot of times we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves. And these, as you also stated, that textbook, you and I was talking one day, you were saying about the textbook, it don't even tell you about the disease, but everybody's symptoms are different. Everybody's symptoms are different when a stroke is about to come on. And I had just wanted to elaborate on that because I
Yeah.
know I know I know that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I
we
know
need to pay attention to our bodies. Our bodies will tell us exactly what's going on with it. The fact that we ignore those signs at that time can be very damaging to us because scientists say and doctors say. My niece is a doctor at Emory Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. She always tell me. She said, "Pay attention to your body because early detection is the key to survival."
ain't
Because
that something?
they catch these things early, then they have a better chance of surviving. And also, I just want to bring out too that I had a practitioner, nurses come to my house still to see how I'm doing and do my blood pressure, my
Mm-hmm.
vitals. That she said, going to primary care doctors is great. It's great to have a primary care doctor. Don't get me wrong, but we should have specialists for every part of our vital parts of our body. We need to have a urologist for our brain. We need to have a heart doctor, cardiologist.
That's
We need
right.
to a specialist for every vital part of our body, even when we're not having something dramatic happen, because that way, early detection of keeping those things intact, then we can head those things off from later. Because we want to survive, we want to keep on living. And this is the way to survival. Had I known, if I'd had all these specialists in line at that point in time, I
Mm-hmm.
probably would. If I had my neurologist, he probably would have seen these things a long time ago. See,
Wow.
several strokes on each side of my brain due to not having.
Wow. Isn't that
And I,
something?
he would have
Wow.
could have
So
had me on blood thinners, could have already had me doing, an aspirin a day. All those things are preventive medications.
exactly. Exactly. So what is vegan eating? What constitutes vegan eating?
Vegan eating is plant based. Everything that comes from basically the earth is, it's plant based eating. It's not eating anything that comes from an animal. But there's two different kind of vegans. There are some vegans that are just strictly plant based, but then there's vegans that they don't like what you called not carbs. What's the word for it? Ooh, I can't even think of it right now. But there's healthy vegan eating. So I'm a healthy vegan eater, and so um, most vegans can eat pasta, potatoes, rice, all these things because that has nothing to do with animals. Those are
Mm-hmm.
things that come from the earth that God created. But then again, you have a vegan myself. I'm more of the vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and things like that because I don't want all the extra carbs in my diet. So there's two different kinds of vegans, and some vegans just they don't want to eat flour, bread,
Right.
things of that nature. So it's just it's just a give and take thing, and you just have to do the research. But I suggest before you start any lifestyle change, and
Mm-hmm.
that you definitely consult with your doctor and nutritionist as well, because if I had done those things, I would have not have set myself into ketosis. I also ended up in the hospital for 5 days because I went into ketosis by taking too much carbs out of my diet. We need carbohydrates, but I didn't know how much carbohydrates I needed. We need to have a
Okay.
balance of protein as well. So when you're removing meats from your diet, you have to replace them with something of equal value. You see what I'm saying? Because we do need protein into our diet. We get to see where can we find these things. What foods have them the most. And so we have to get up under the care of something, because before we were going our own route. We ate whatever we was raised up eating. We was eating
Mm-hmm.
balls and chitlins and fried chicken.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Might
But
well
now
just be honest about it. Yep.
there's a lot of healthy people from eating that way. But now
Yeah.
you're going to catch this out of your diet. Your body is used to that. And so you can send your body into a shock. So you want to go up under care of a nutritionist and consult with your doctor and see where your levels are, get your blood work done. That would be the best thing, before you make a lifestyle change.
So I can admit, I'm talking about myself now. I can admit that when I heard people are going vegan, I'll be very honest. I would think they just don't eat no eggs. They don't have drink milk. That was my mentality until we have a conversation about it. I
Yeah.
really thought vegan just meant no, we're not gonna eat no eggs. If it was a cookie that had some egg base in it, or you're not gonna touch that.
No, I'm
That
not going
was
to.
really my mentality about this. I'm being very honest about it.
Yeah, we got to get our calcium. We don't eat eggs and we don't drink milk, but we can still make our own milk and we can eat things that have the same essential vitamins in them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have those the nutrients for your body to function and feel good every day. Be wondering, well, why am I feeling lightheaded today, or why am I
Right.
in my stomach, or why I'm not feeling why I'm
Yeah.
feeling why I'm feeling that way? Because there's no balance, and we got to learn that balance. Because we still need those nutrients. It's essential to have the five food groups. We need to have those groups there. Our breads, our whole grains. No, I don't eat things that have eggs in them. I don't eat things that have milk in them. No, I have my
Okay.
own reason. A lot of people have special reasons for being a vegan. Some people are vegan for health only. Some are don't they're vegans because they don't want to kill animals. They don't feel like they want to survive because of an animal's death. And me personally, I'm one of those vegans. I don't want to have to slaughter an animal to get my nutrients.
Okay, Janet. I see where Miss Carlson stated it's a thing called dairy free vegan,
Hmm.
being dairy free.
Yeah,
So it is okay.
yeah.
So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well,
Being
most
dairy.
of the things that I take in, like when I made, did you see I made a crumble one night? I made a crumble and it was so delicious. I had some blueberries and blackberries, and I was just going to use just the plant-based butter. But I also wanted a whipped topping, right? But I said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there ain't no, there, I'm just 7 months into being a vegan. And I said, well, I know I can't top it with no ice cream, and most of the
Mm-hmm.
whipped cream have it. So my husband went to the store and he found just that. He found the dairy-free topping that go on top of it.
Wow.
It is delicious. Once you eat plant-based butter or dairy-free whipped toppings or tub toppings, because this was a tub topping, it just is so good, and it's just, I tell you, you know,
And she also stated that you can make almond milk.
yeah. You can make your oat
Wow.
milk too. You can make your own milk.
Wow. So
Yeah.
if you can make your own, you don't have to buy what's in the store. You don't
No.
have to do that.
Mm-mm.
You make your own.
Yep.
Wow. Now, can you call out a couple of vegan foods? A couple of them. I don't know
Something I
any.
use in my recipes daily. Something I use in my recipes daily.
Yeah.
Well, daily I eat tofu. And I'm a tofu nut. I probably shouldn't eat as much tofu because you got to be careful eating tofu. You can overeat
Why?
tofu because it has a lot of hormones in it, which will
Oh,
make your chest bigger. It's like you don't want to give a lot of tofu to your sons, your little boys, because it'll make them have breasts. So, but
what?
yeah, you have to do your research. But I love tofu because I've made it in so many different dishes. I make it in tacos. I make it in bugatti. I make it in spaghetti. I've did
Wow.
taste like chicken. I make it taste like fish sticks. I make it taste like eggs. Things like that. But the most nutritional one for nutrients is jackfruit. It has so many vitamins in it. It's just so many things that you need. Actually, jackfruit, you can find everything that you need for your whole
Wow.
body in jackfruit.
Jackfruit. It's called jackfruit
Hmm.
in
And you
all the
want to,
store.
and I always purchase mine canned because it's in the brine. If you purchase it in the produce department, then you will find that it'll be, sweet because it's ripened at that point of it.
Hmm.
That's not what I'm talking about. You want it to cook with. You want it to make dishes from.
Right.
Yeah, but there's many other things, that you can use, but those are the two that I tend to start my meals with, along with fresh vegetables. I use lots of garden vegetables, not frozen. Frozen at its best, but mostly fresh.
So, Janet, would you say that a lot of us ladies, a lot of inflammation comes from not eating right or the proper foods, right? And the being vegan, it'll help take that away. Would that happen? Would
Yeah,
just
well, not eating is not really not what you eat. It's what you are eating. It's what we're putting into our bodies. It's not what we're not eating. It's what we're putting into our bodies that causes a lot of inflammation. So we have to do the research on what I learned recently that, and I'm trying to get off of it. I haven't successfully completed that. Is that tomatoes cause a lot of inflammation in the body. I have what you call Sjogren's disease, and
uh
it's a
huh.
Sjogren's is like my body is attacked by inflammation, so I have a lot of pain most of the time, and so but my pain has been relieved over half by being vegan, and because foods put a lot of certain foods and that you intake in your body cause a lot of inflammation. Tomatoes was one that I loved because I love ketchup on
Mm.
everything. It causes a lot of inflammation in the body, and that's a fruit. So we really have to do the research. A lot of people think tomatoes are a vegetable, but it's not. It's a fruit.
And you know what, Janet, to piggyback on that, you are definitely right about that. Cause I don't eat them no more, but I used to love tomatoes. But this is what I would notice now. I mean, I would have a bowl of tomato and salt and vinegar. That's what I would eat,
Mhm.
right? But now this is what I would notice. I mean, we being honest. When I would eat that nice sized bowl of tomatoes and vinegar and salt, right? Give me a couple of hours. Woo, if these ankles was not swelling, oh my gosh. And I did go to the doctor, and that was one of the he told me to cut out eating tomatoes. So yes, that
Yeah,
was causing a lot of inflammation in my ankles and all. Yes, it was. So yes,
yeah,
and that's something but I don't eat them anymore. But as I stated, see, as we get older, we begin to rethink how we eat and everything, and we have to. See, because you know, I got grandbabies and I want to be here for my grandbabies. You see what I'm saying? So it's
exactly.
nothing wrong. Yes, it's nothing wrong with trying to take control and take charge of your health as we get older. Because yeah, we want to be around some. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad because you and I are friends. You're not. We're in the makeup circle together, y'all. And this woman here is, oh gosh, she has such a pure heart. And I am so glad that you were sitting in front of me as my sister, and we're talking about this. Because cause when I heard about what happened, I know you probably got tired of them all in your inbox. You okay? You okay? But that was just me as your sister watching out for you and concerned about you. And I'm so glad that
I
you went on
appreciate
to the doctor. Yes, you went on to the doctor. You didn't take it, take it for granted. Oh, I'm just dizzy. I'm really glad you did that. And the transformation that you're taking doing vegan. Any regrets?
I have no regrets. That's the best life ever. I wish I'd have did it a long time ago. I didn't even understand that. I knew that, cheeses and milks and stuff had a lot of cholesterol in them, but I had no idea it was clogging my arteries. I was getting blood work done all the time, because I'm on high blood pressure medication, and they said, well, we need your blood work. And, basically primary care doctors are interested in that office visit money. And so they're not really, when people say, you say, well, how was my blood work? And they say, well, it was fine. Don't go for that. Always ask for the numbers, because then you can look on the scale and see what is the norm yourself, you know. And so, because I asked my doctor that I have now, I said, well, I was going to the doctor all the time, every 6 months to get my blood work done so they can renew my medication. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever told me that my cholesterol level was high. He said, well, you probably was
You
like,
kidding?
okay, they never. That's why I was always bragging to my husband all the time, saying I don't have a cholesterol problem, even as large as I am. I don't have a cholesterol problem.
Wow.
But he said this. He said, "Well, no, it probably wasn't considered as high then, but it was out of the range they didn't consider as dangerous but now it's probably at that level, and now they consider it dangerous because you had a stroke. So I had to have a stroke for them to say that was dangerous. I'm like, what did they go to sleep?
Wow.
They just let that slip right through. So you have to pay attention to your own body when you go to the
Mm-hmm.
doctor and have tests done. Ask for your numbers. Don't say, is it okay? She say, oh, it's fine. No, I need the numbers. Then you go back and you look it up yourself and do your own research. What are those numbers? What range? You want the ranges. That's what you're going to look at, the range. So you want to know, where's the range at, of normal and abnormal. And that's taking care of yourself. We have to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
we're in a world of microwavable things. Everybody want everything fast, and they want to make their money and get out of there. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not
But
about you. You got to take
as
care of
you
yourself.
stated, we have to listen to our body because it's going to tell you.
It's going to
It's
tell
going
you.
to tell you. We might not want it to adhere to it, but them little signs, and as we get older, them little aches and pains, and them little this, and them tingling, oh yeah, you said something about some tingling in your hands, and see,
Hmm.
all that stuff means something.
It
It might
means
not be
something.
bad. It might not be bad, but them tinglers in your feet and fingers, and your hand constantly going to sleep. That's something. That's something.
It's definitely something. My niece, like I told you, she's head of the COVID unit over there. And whenever we feel anything that doesn't feel right, it's definitely something. It hasn't came to a climax yet. But if you have a specialist for your body, for different parts of your body, that specialist is going to do what he's supposed to do to find out why is that happening. If you're feeling something in your chest, then you want to go see your cardiologist. So, if you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling something in the back, you want to see, then your osteoporosis, for your bones and things like that. You
Right.
want to see them because that's all they study is that, you know, and you don't want to take it for granted that it's nothing because there's no such thing as pain being normal. There's no such thing as burning of your feet being normal. There's no such thing as that. That's not normal. Something's going on, and you
Wow.
need to find out before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, would you say, to sum it up, would you say your transformation, right, that you made, would you say you really feel like that saved your life? Would you really?
Most definitely saved my life. I'm a cook by nature. I was raised with my both
Yes.
of my
Tell, tell,
parents.
tell the audience. Tell the audience about yeah. Yeah. Put your
My
plug
mother
in.
raised us in her cafe. She had her own cafe. And, by nature, I'm just a cook. And the things that I used to cook was definitely artery clogging foods. We could not cook macaroni and cheese without having 7 different cheeses in them. We couldn't make dressing without adding all these different stuff that we put in all this eggs and, all these different things that we cook clogged our arteries. If I had not made that major change, cooking our greens, healthy things like greens, we're cooking them in fat meat. You know what I'm saying? To get the
Mm-hmm.
flavor. So if I had not made that lifestyle change, I don't think I would actually be sitting here uh, on your studio today.
Wow. Now I
I'm
know it was hard. It was hard, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
hard because we're so used to eating them pig feet and that bacon. We're so used to and them collard greens with the ham hocket. Come on now, y'all know what I'm
It
talking
was
about
it
out
was
here.
it was a little hard, but when you know how to cook, like I still make greens. I make them taste just as well because I use a little liquid smoke to drop in a couple of spoonsful, and
Okay.
that's all we want, right? We want
Right.
that smoke from the smoked meat that we
Yeah.
put into our greens,
Exactly.
and we add plant-based, butters and stuff. But we need a little fat in there, we consider fat, and yeah, it's still just as delicious. It's not, my husband wouldn't take it now. He eats his like that. See, he eats his like that, even though he's not vegan, but he still eat his greens the way I cook them now, with lots of onions and garlic and all these wonderful spices and seasons they got today. Yeah, yeah, I don't miss it at all. I don't miss meat. I don't
You don't
miss
miss it at
cheese.
all.
I don't miss
And
none of
I'm sure your body is used to the transformation. If you go and have you a pork chop sandwich, your body's
that.
gonna, yeah, your
I'm
body's
gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna let you rest on this, girl. I took in, those straws they call veggie straws, and they come in different flavors. And
No.
I snack on them a lot, but they come in
Okay.
different flavors. They come in cheddar cheese, they come in ranch, they come in just with sea salt.
Hmm.
So the ranch, I wasn't thinking. I'm thinking this is in the beginning of my journey. I'm thinking, well, okay, these are, and they are, they're vegetables and they're potato little sticks and they're crunchy because I love to crunch on stuff. Well, one day I took in the ranch ones and I ate them. My stomach did a flip flop, cramping and sick.
Ooh.
And that let me know that it was just that little bit of dairy that my stomach wasn't used to anymore. See what dairy do to you? You see,
See.
why does it do that? Eating the vegetables didn't make me do that.
Wow. Your body turned
When I
against you.
switched over to vegetable eating and eating healthy without all these things, I don't eat. I have a little bit of salt, but I use the Himalayan salt because that's the pink salt, and that salt adds hydration to your body, whereas iodized salt removes hydration from your body.
Oh, was that see? We was all now as society. We was always taught that it's good to eat, good to have the iodized salt. Wow,
Yeah, and it's
and it's
not good
really
for people with high blood pressure. So
wow. See, that's what I mean. That's all I got in my cabinet, iodine salt. You see what I'm saying? Because as society, y'all come out there, y'all know we're used to doing it. Eating that, you go right to the grocery store.
that's
That's
what we
what you're
was
gonna pick
raised
up.
on. Yeah,
You're gonna
even
pick
though
that
my parents
iodine
had high
salt.
blood pressure, they was raised on that.
We're
Hmm.
gonna pick that up. But that's not good for your iodine salt. It takes away. So
No,
what would be a good substitute for that? I mean, really?
the pink salt. It's the Himalayan salt. I want to say it. I always tongue twist on that, but it's pink salt, and
Oh,
it's
that
right.
pink salt. The
Yeah,
pink Himalayan or something like that pink salt.
yeah, yep. I
Okay.
got it downstairs right now. That's what I use to season my food. Anything. That's all I use. It adds hydration. Do the research on it. It
Mm-hmm.
hydrates the body.
Mm-hmm.
How can it be something that's bad when something's taking something out of the body? When you notice that you eat some chips and with all that salt on, you got to have something to drink right afterwards because you're
Yes. Yep.
thirsty. So
Yep.
that's
You're right.
dehydrating you. That's dehydrating you. So
Yes.
that's why they like to put the rim of salt around when you have a margarita because they want you to drink more.
Is that why? Is that why? Is that why, Janet?
Yeah,
Is
they
that
want you
why?
to drink more.
Is that why they put that around the margaritas? Okay. Now I
Yeah.
learned some again.
They gonna order another margarita, okay? Because they thirsty.
Yeah, I learned something. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Janet, before we leave, let me see if anybody got any questions. Anybody have any questions? And Miss Priscilla, stated that's some good info that we gave. Thank you. Anybody have any questions about vegan or her journey? Let me see. All right. And I see where Miss T Lane stated that she loved the jackfruit. It literally tastes like whatever you season it. Okay, so really,
Yes.
I
Yes.
gotta try that.
Yeah. It
I gotta
tastes so
try
good.
that.
Never flavor.
That jackfruit. That
Mm-hmm.
jackfruit. So this is what I want to know from our audience before we leave. Well, let me say this. Before I say this, Janet, is it any advice that you want to give the audience?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything other than, ladies, we got to take care of ourselves. Get your yearly exams, your mammograms, your woman's well checkup, and pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your body because it's going to tell you exactly, what you need, and you just need to pay attention to it and get it checked out. Don't wait till it's too late because that's what I was doing. I was thinking I was going to inconvenience somebody. I was feeling like this so many times. And that's why I know that I felt it every time I had a stroke, but I didn't know it was a stroke. You know,
Wow.
until it urged up into this, and now I'm rehabbing now, and I
Mm-hmm.
thank God had mercy on me to get me back where I am right now.
Wow.
Yeah, pay
Wow.
attention to your bodies. And don't think about, oh, I don't want to, inconvenience this person to take me to the doctor or tell somebody I'm not feeling well because it sounds like I'm being weak. There's nothing weak about life. God gave us a beautiful gift of life, and we don't want to take our lives for granted.
You are so true about that.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I am going to close it out with this. And as Miss Janet stated, ladies, take care of our bodies. Take care of ourselves. Take if so, now I say this: if you know something is going on with you, something been going on with you, you don't want to tell nobody. Tell somebody. Get a friend to go with you to the doctor to see why you every morning you wake up, your hands feeling numb all the time, for an example, or every time you try to get up, the room is just spinning and spinning and spinning.
Mhm.
Tell, if you're afraid to go to the doctor, tell somebody and then ask that person to go with you to the doctor to find out what's going on. Because as Janet stated, that's an indication of something. It might not be nothing, but it might not be nothing bad, but it's an indication of something. Maybe high blood pressure trying to creep up on you, or something,
Mhm.
or something. Um, we got to take care of ourselves. And as she stated, this is breast cancer awareness month, ladies.
Mhm.
Look, y'all check your girls out. Check your girls out. 'Cause these are your best friends sitting up here. They've been with you for forever, and they're gonna be with you forever. Take care of your girls up here. And if you find a lump and you're scared, like I said, get somebody to go with you to the doctor. It doesn't always mean. Now, let me say this. I'm gonna go on and tell the truth about this. I had one a couple of years ago. I'm just gonna be very, since we're talking about it, since I brought breast cancer awareness up, let me talk about it. And when I made that statement about don't be afraid to go to the doctor, oh, I was scared. I really was. I waited 3 months before I got the nerve up to go to the no, to go and get it checked out when I felt it. And so they checked it out. I had my procedure done. But y'all, let me tell you something. This gonna make you laugh. So the day I went in for them to take it out to do the biopsy, I was sort of groggy a little bit, but thank God I won't all the way groggy. Let me tell y'all why. This gonna make y'all laugh. Because they was actually getting ready to mess with the wrong breast.
Oh my
They was
goodness.
discussing, yes, the two nurses was over looking at my paperwork and was discussing, okay, yeah, I see what we're gonna do this. He's gonna do this right here. And just so happened, I was like, it's the right one. I had enough energy to say, no, that's not that's not the one. That's not the one. And I was glad I was able to. They was getting ready to go in and what they want to find out in the left one. So now it was agonizing after they took it out, and it was agonizing waiting for the test results to come back, and it was benign, but it was called cystatic breast.
Right. Right.
All right. So every so often I still have to go back and check. But that sitting there waiting for that phone call or waiting for that letter, yes, it was agonizing. It was agonizing. But now that I look back on it, I'm glad it turned out fine. But let's say if it wouldn't have been, I sit there and waited 3 months before I got decided to go get it checked out.
Yeah,
So
you were
y'all
very
check your
fortunate.
girls.
Yeah,
Check
you're
them.
very fortunate
Check
because
your
my
girls,
my
because
sister
it
did.
happened to me. And thank
Yeah.
God, it came back fine. It came back fine, but I still have to go get myself checked because it's a six status something they called it. But
Right.
yeah, yeah. All right, Miss Janet. Thank you for being on my first talk show for Miss J Speaks Talk Show and Podcast. I so appreciate you. I really really do. And y'all, let me ask y'all this. All right, so we was talking about vegan, right? Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want me to bring Miss Janet back. But this time, she be in her kitchen. Miss Janet, matter of fact, go ahead on and tell them about your Facebook page. Your Jan's
Well,
Kitchen. Yes.
yeah, y'all can join me every Saturday. I do a vegan brunch at 1 o'clock Central Time, and I cook vegan brunch there. I have all different types of recipes that I would Love for y'all to come and join me for brunch there right on Facebook, and that's in Jan's in her own kitchen.
Y'all go over there and follow Jan. I'm telling you. And how about she take her food that she prepares? She takes her own pictures, and I'm telling you, when I be looking at it, my mouth be watering. I'm like, oh wow, that looks so good. I mean that mm. So y'all sound off in them comments now. If y'all want me to bring Miss Janet back, but we're gonna bring her back in her kitchen and let her fix us something. I let her decide on what she want to fix, and she show us. Even though we can't taste it, but she show us. She tease us with her vegan cooking. Y'all sign off in them comments. And with that being said, I thank y'all that came in and joined me on my very first show. Yes, it's a serious topic that we talk about, ladies and women's health. Um, get serious about it. Don't let no crisis wake you up. You know, don't try not to allow that to happen. To the point you want to take your health serious, more serious. Okay, so I am gonna sound off, and if you didn't catch it live, those that watch the replay, I'm thanking you in advance, and I will see y'all again.
Thank you
Y'all
for
have a
having
good
me.
one.
Bye bye.